The interpretation of narratives is to some extent subjective, because everyone can experience art differently. At the same time, using literary analysis, we can still explain the most reasonable meanings that the art is meant to convey, or that the audience is likely to understand. To understand themes of any work of art, however, spoilers are involved. Heavy spoilers. So consider this your spoiler warning. The narrative of Horizon Zero Dawn is clearly an important part of the experience. A large part of the game is solving the mysteries behind different characters and their motivations for their involvement in the events of the game. In the relatively reasonable playtime, there are enough themes that I eventually decided to separate this biblical themes video into 2 parts. In this video, part 1, we are going to answer the question, how does Horizon Zero Dawn value life, knowledge, and love? The first theme expressed in Zero Dawn is a theme of valuing life and rebirth over death. The title of the game, Zero Dawn, is based off of the name of the project meant to secure the rebirth of humans and Earth. Zero refers to day zero, the day when there will be no more life on Earth. However, dawn seems to imply a new dawn after the night has passed, a rebirth after Zero Day. Thus, life and rebirth are valued over death. This is also conveyed in the AI forces in conflict. The one the protagonist is supporting is named Gaia, who in Greek mythology is the personification of Earth, mother of all life.
We call it Gaia. Mother Nature as an AI.
The antagonists support the AI Hades, who is the Greek god of death and the underworld. Therefore, in the game, the good guys support life and the bad guys support death. While the game makes clear that the AI is not God, some of the good guys do worship the AI as a goddess of life. In the Bible, God is also described as a God of life. But Jesus answered them, "You are wrong, because you know neither the scriptures nor the power of God. For in the resurrection they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are like angels in heaven. And as for the resurrection of the dead, have you not read what was said to you by God? I am the God of Abraham and the God of Isaac and the God of Jacob. He is not the God of the dead, but of the living." And when the crowd heard it, they were astonished at his teaching. Matthew chapter 22, verses 29 to 33. In the Bible, when the Sadducees suggest there is no such thing as resurrection, Jesus teaches them that God is not the God of the dead, but that he is the God of the living. Even those who die live to God because he can raise them from the dead. Because many of the characters in the game are religious, the game seems to convey a theme about religion, which is our second theme. In Zero Dawn, secularism seems to be valued over superstitious religious beliefs. Many of Aloy's friends and allies are religious, but so are many of the antagonists. The Nora tribe worships the All-Mother, their name for a deity that they believe is the source of all life. This is later revealed to be Gaia, the AI who has created all life in the post-apocalyptic era. However, the belief in All-Mother is generally treated as superstitious.
But this isn't a goddess.
Aloy!
It's a door.
Even though Rost, Aloy's mentor, clearly has faith in All-Mother and the tribe's religion, Aloy actively challenges it, and according to the game, seems correct for doing so.
I got Odd Grata her rabbits, for which she thanked All-Mother, of course.
It was All-Mother working through you to bring her the rabbits.
You always say that, but I was there and I hunted alone.
And you always say that, and so make yourself alone.
Similarly, the Karja worship the sun as the source of all life. A splinter of the Karja, known as the Shadow Karja, worship the shadow as the dark half of the sun in a sort of dualistic perspective. As with the Nora, the game seems to treat this religion with contempt, especially when it is revealed that Silence used their religion to manipulate them into serving the rogue AI Hades.
Their religion made them easy to manipulate.
The Bible, however, disagrees with the secularist attitude of Aloy and Silence. In the book of Psalms, the psalmist says this, "The fool says in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They do abominable deeds. There is none who does good. The Lord looks down from heaven on the children of man to see if there are any who understand, who seek after God. They have all turned aside. Together they have become corrupt. There is none who does good, not even one." Psalm 14, verses 1 to 3. This psalm indicates that the secularist attitude promoted by the game is not something the Bible supports. Obviously, the Bible supports belief in the Christian God. However, the Bible does agree with the game's attitude towards superstitious religions. In the book of Deuteronomy, it says this, "Therefore watch yourselves very carefully, Since you saw no form on the day that the Lord spoke to you at Horeb out of the midst of the fire, beware lest you act corruptly by making a carved image for yourselves, in the form of any figure, the likeness of male or female, the likeness of any animal that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged bird that flies in the air, the likeness of anything that creeps on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the water under the earth. And beware lest you raise your eyes to heaven, and when you see the sun and the moon and the stars, all the host of heaven, you be drawn away, and bow down to them, and serve them, things that the Lord your God has allotted to all the peoples under the whole heaven. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verses 15 to 19. Worshipping things that people have made with their hands, like carved images, or in more modern contexts, like automated electronic bunkers or AIs, is superstitious and forbidden by God. Worshipping the sun and other celestial bodies is similarly forbidden. The secularists in the game, Aloy and Silence, are portrayed as enlightened and more knowledgeable than the religious people in this way. This leads us to our third theme. Zero Dawn seems to have a theme of knowledge and learning over ignorance. In the game, according to Nora tribe law, it is forbidden to enter the old world ruins because they are considered tainted. Yet Aloy falls into one such ruin and comes out with what is termed basically a gift, a focus from which she could learn much about the world around her. Initially, her mentor Rost wants to take the device away from her, rejecting old world artifacts and knowledge, but Aloy refuses to hand it over and wants to keep it, and he relents. Aloy's desire for knowledge is subtly valued over Rost and the Nora tradition and choice of ignorance of the old world. Despite Rost being ignorant in the ways of technology, he still manages to teach Aloy many skills related to hunting and survival, lessons that she values. Later on in the game, the Apollo archive is revealed to be an important source of knowledge that was meant to be given to the post-apocalyptic world, but was instead destroyed. The storage of the knowledge of all civilization is portrayed as a positive thing, and the destruction of the archive a negative one. Similarly, Silence's desire for knowledge is presented as reasonable and sympathetic.
I had to dredge the pits of the world looking for focuses to repair. And here sat a trove, enriching no one.
In the Bible, knowledge and learning is also encouraged. In the book of Proverbs, it says, "My son, if you receive my words and treasure up my commandments with you, make your ear attentive to wisdom and inclining your heart to understanding. Yes, if you call out for insight and raise your voice for understanding, if you seek it like silver and search for it as for hidden treasures, then you will understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God. For the Lord gives wisdom, from his mouth come knowledge and understanding. He stores up sound wisdom for the upright. He is a shield to those who walk in integrity." Proverbs chapter 2, verses 1 to 7. The Bible values knowledge and learning and encourages believers to learn a lot, especially knowledge about God and morality. Even though knowledge is held in high regard in the game, Zero Dawn does suggest that love and compassion are more important than intelligence and knowledge. The game demonstrates this through the character of Rost. Even though Rost is a capable and knowledgeable mentor, it is really his love that makes him a good father figure to Aloy.
I've done only what you asked.
To raise it, yes. We said nothing of love.
In a similar way, Gaia is the most advanced AI ever built, a fully functional general AI. But it is not Gaia's abilities that Elizabeth thinks are important, but rather Gaia's emotions. Gaia's designer, Elizabeth, is thankful when Gaia develops love and compassion. Elizabeth believes that the love Gaia has for life will be important in the role it plays for rebuilding Earth.
Am I malfunctioning? No, Gaia, you're not. This is good. It's very good.
Silence disagrees and does not think the emotion is important, but Aloy points out that it is Gaia's love that allows her to sacrifice herself to stop Hades.
If it wasn't for that sentimentality, life would have ended. You and I would never have existed.
Elizabeth Sobek also demonstrates love and compassion when she sacrifices herself to save her Alpha team. Silence thinks that her talent and genius are what makes Elizabeth great, but Aloy says it is her love.
You think she was better because she was smart, because she designed Zero Dawn, but you missed the point. What made her great was that she was willing to sacrifice herself for others, for everyone who would come later.
This is heavily contrasted with Silence, who believes that knowledge is the most important value. As mentioned in the previous point, Silent's motives are portrayed as understandable, but extreme. He commits many atrocities in exchange for learning from Hades, and he feels little regret. Finally, the game suggests that Elizabeth had been taught by her mother that love is more important than being smart.
Elizabeth, being smart will count for nothing if you don't make the world better. You have to use your smarts to count for something. To serve life, not death.
The Bible, too, suggests that love is more important than knowledge in 1 Corinthians. If I speak in the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have prophetic powers, and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. If I give away all I have, and if I deliver up my body to be burned, but have not love, I gain nothing. Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. As for prophecies, they will pass away. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will pass away. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 1 to 8. In Zero Dawn, many things have passed away, but love is actually what keeps things going. Horizon Zero Dawn contains a narrative that evaluates the importance of different values, such as life, love, and knowledge. Throughout the story, it conveys many ideas about the relative importance of those values through its themes. Although the narrative is very secularist, there are still some elements that are biblical. The game also contains many other themes, some of which are more explicitly religious. For more on the religious themes of Zero Dawn, check out Part 2, my second video on the biblical themes of Horizon Zero Dawn. That's all I have for you in this video. Bless you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If this video blessed you in some way, please consider watching some of my other videos, subscribing, or sharing with me some of your thoughts in the comments below.